This machine is called a vinyl cutter. It is an example of CAM, computer aided manufacture. Now, this machine does not print in color. The color comes from the vinyl roll that you've selected. Now, vinyl typically comes in a roll. A roll is an example of a stock form, which is a standard shape that this material is available in. Once you've selected your vinyl roll color, they are mounted and clamped down into the vinyl cutter. The vinyl cutter uses this diamond tip blade that can go in any direction along an X and Y axis. So it is a very, very fine, very, very sharp blade, and you are essentially drawing the path for this blade to follow. So what happens is we mount it into the holder and we make sure we screw the holder tight and it is secure for health and safety reasons. The vinyl cutter reads vectors drawn in TextSoft V3. You need to type what you expect to cut, but you must ensure that you explode your text, as the vinyl cutter cannot read fonts. It can only read outline shapes. Essentially, you are drawing the path for the vinyl cutter to follow. It is a plotting device. So if I select the lettering vinyl cutter that you see on the screen, you will see a series of points, and the blade will read those points and follow the path that you have drawn. So it cuts along the lines. The blade cuts along the lines. Here's the vinyl cutter in action. You can see the roll of vinyl being pulled backward and forward as the cutter head moves left and right. And as I said before, it is following the path that you've set out for it. You can actually see very carefully the blade cutting through the first layer of vinyl. Once you take the roll off of the cutter, you will trim off the piece that you need. And here we see a variety of weeding tools. Just above that, you have a set of tweezers, and the blue square that you see is called a squeegee, SQUEEGEE. And then we have the vinyl application film as well. So now it's time to remove the negative space. The negative space is the space around the sticker that you do not require. It is the waste vinyl you want to remove. So as you can see here, you need to peel off at a certain angle to make sure the lettering stays on the white backing and you are removing the area around it, also called the negative space. So in this video, I'm taking it off in one piece, but what you can do is do it in smaller sections. And the reason is the back of the black sticker is very, very sticky. So if it accidentally touches one of the letters, it will lift it off and it will ruin your sticker and you would have to cut another one. Other tools you see in this video are a squeegee, so that's the blue square. You have a set of tweezers, and you have weeding tools, okay? All of these tools are essentially to help you weed out the negative area. So the official name for this is weeding, W-E-E-D-I. So after you've removed all of your negative space, you might be left with some letters that have internal shapes, such as the letter R in this example. So what you need to do is get your weeding tool, which is shaped like a hook. So here's an example of a side-by-side. So I did two examples for this video. On the left is the sticker that you want, and on the right is it before weeding. So inside the R, you've got this internal shape. So you need to remove it with one of the weeding tools that we've provided you. So I would pick it off, but I would go in the middle of the shape. So don't worry about destroying that part because you don't need it. I would not go right in the corner because you could damage the outside of the R. So what you need to do is pick it and twist it, and it should just lift off quite easily. Now this is application film. The purpose of application film is to lift the vinyl from its backing so it can be transferred to a surface, and it's quite low tack. So I'm going to peel a little bit off, just about enough to cover the lettering. You have to be very, very careful. You can use a scalpel, or you can use this roll cutter Now I'm struggling a little bit with this. So I'm going to very carefully use a scalpel. You can ask a teacher for help with this process. You can use scissors also. You're going to slice a portion off. And then you're going to very gently place it over your lettering. Now you need to take care when placing the application film over your lettering. You need to use a squeegee and very carefully place it down, avoiding creases and bubbles as it will damage your sticker. And when you apply it to your surface, it will not look great. So very, very gently from one end to the other, use your squeegee to run along the lengthways of the sticker. Make sure you use a good amount of pressure so you're able to do the next step successfully. So the idea is that the backing sheet is quite slippery, so the sticker should lift off quite easily. The application film is not so sticky. So if you actually kind of pinch the sticker, you will see that it is not so sticky, but it's sticky enough to remove the vinyl lettering off the backing sheet. So I would always suggest you go to the top right corner and peel down at 45 degrees. Now, if you do this successfully, all of the sticker should very, very easily come away, and that means you are ready to apply it to your chosen surface. Now, you need to make sure wherever you are applying the sticker, it is clean from dust and grease. So you must make sure you remove any dust with a cloth and make sure it's clean. So you line up your sticker, you press firmly onto the area you wish to stick on your preferred surface. So I am rubbing my finger over the word vinyl cutter. You can also use a squeegee. There's a soft edge which you can use in some instances. And you can use the other end, which is a bit firmer. So I'm going to pull it down at an angle of 45 degrees. Now, the reason why we do that is to ensure that irregular shapes stay onto the surface. So once it is firmly on, you're going to pull down at 45 degrees, but you may want to change the angle depending on the shape. So here we have the N. It needs to be pushed down again. And you may want to change the angle. You may want to use the hard part of the squeegee, but you need to make sure that the sticker stays on the surface and you are able to gently peel away the application film. So you might need to change the angle slightly. So we're pulling down at 45 degrees. Now it's happened to the letter I again. So what we're going to do is either push down with our fingers and pull down at 45 degrees. Or you can use that squeegee as well. It's happening to the T. So the rules effectively are the same, but there's no single correct way of peeling away the application film. You have to work with the shape that you have created. So here we have the V is quite tricky. So one part of the V has come away. So we need to keep rubbing the letters down and changing the angle to not catch the corner of the letter. So it's happened to the C as well. So get your squeegee, rub it down, and peel away. And there you have your lettering on your surface.